Well, I'm here with one of the world's foremost experts on reducing emissions, Lord Adair Tuner, Chair of the Energy Transition Commission. So, Adair, what are some of the things you're working on at the moment?
Well, one of the main things we're working on is what we call turbocharging clean electrification, because I think it becomes clearer and clearer over time that the only way to get to a zero carbon global economy eventually is to electrify as much of the economy as possible, and then to make sure that all of the electricity that we use is produced in a zero carbon fashion. And what it emerges is there are huge opportunities to electrify more and more parts of the economy, and in most of them, this will be reducing cost as well because of the fundamental efficiency which comes when you electrify.
And is there any sort of particular technology or development out there that particularly excites you at the moment?
Well, I think electric vehicles are absolutely unstoppable. Yeah. I think electric vehicles are going to be cheaper to buy up front than internal combustion engine vehicles. The battery technologies just get better and better over time. But the fact that the battery technologies are getting better has also done an extraordinary thing on the production side of electricity, which is storage batteries have also collapsed in price. Storage batteries have come down in price about 60% in the course of the last 3 years. And we now think of solar plus batteries. I now describe it as the killer app of the energy transition. I think in much of what we call the global sun belt, and we count Australia as very much part of the global sun belt, we think solar plus battery combination is getting to the stage where it is clearly cheaper to provide round-the-clock electricity throughout the day and night, cheaper than any fossil fuel can be.
And so we still have people who deny the science of climate change and are sceptical about that. What would you say to people who deny or are sceptical about climate change?
Well, look out your window. I mean, part of the year. I mean, here you've had terrible droughts, you've had heat waves, you've had wildfires. We've had extraordinary floods, for instance, in Spain, floods in Pakistan, killed lots of people. I think it's absolutely clear that we are seeing exactly what the scientists told us we would see. And what we're seeing so far is at 1.5 degrees centigrade of warming above pre-industrial levels. That is what is producing the weather events that we're seeing around the world. And with every 0.1 degree centigrade of extra warming, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So to me, the science is it's absolutely clear. It's been completely validated, and there is very, very big harm to human welfare coming. And every time we look at it, we find that there are some sectors of the economy where it will cost us something to decarbonise. Not so much in the ones that we can electrify, but bits of heavy industry are a bit more expensive to decarbonise. But all the costs of decarbonisation are very, very small compared with the costs of inaction of allowing this climate change to occur.
And you're visiting us from the United Kingdom. In Australia, people say we're only 1% of emissions, it doesn't count. I've seen in the United Kingdom people say we're only 1% of emissions, does it count? If you're 1% of emissions, does it count?
Well, of course it does. I mean, the way I sometimes think about it is I'm only one citizen among lots of others in London, so what does it matter if I chuck litter on the street?
Or don't pay tax.
Or don't pay taxes. But the answer is, I'm one among other citizens. So, everybody's only 1%. I mean, China, of course, is, 20% overall. But any one province of China could say, I'm only 1%. Any one state of the US could say, I'm only 1%. So I think, we have to get away from that thinking. We do have a common responsibility. But also, there's lots of opportunities, of economic opportunities to invest in, in these clean technologies and grasp the economic opportunities that comes with that.
Yeah, and the countries that are like 30%, 20%, like China, they are actually doing a lot as well.
Well, China is doing an enormous amount. China, by the way, if we go back to electrification, is way ahead of people on electrification. China in 25 or thereabouts, 25, had about 10% of its energy came from electricity, which was behind Europe, US, Australia, which are in the low 20s. China's now about 31% of all its energy is coming from electricity because it has made a bet that the future is electric, and it's a winning bet, and it's off the back of that it is developing the technologies of EVs, the technologies of solar panels, etc. So they have made the correct bet. I mean, the future is going to be electric.
Last question. Are you an optimist or a pessimist, and why?
There's a lot of reasons why you might be pessimist at the moment. I mean, Donald Trump has not helped in this debate. The temperatures continue to go up. The thing that makes me above all optimistic is the technologies. If you look at what has happened on solar costs, solar PV costs have come down 95% in the last 15 years. In the last 50 years, they've come down 99.9%. Solar PV costs 1,000th of what it did 50 years ago. We've also seen these amazing cost reductions in batteries. Human innovation is what will solve this problem, and I think it's solving it, it's giving us the tools to solve it quite fast.
Adair Tuner, great to have you in Australia.
Great, thank you.